Hey, it's Mazzy. Welcome back to the channel. New music, finally. After all that San Francisco chazarai. 5 new records, actually 4 new records, actually 1 new record, and 3 new reissues, plus a Grail at the end I found. And this has been the only record that has really been on my wish list for a reissue. And it's been teased for years. That's at the end. Please don't skip ahead. Enjoy the music. Enjoy me pontificating on the music at least. And I'm only going to show 1 new record by a new-ish band. They've been around for 4 years now, 3 years plus. And that's the new album, Moisturizer by Wet Leg. Of course, this iconic singer, Rhiannon Treasdale, they're from Wales. What I like about this, now I've had discussions with a lot of my music friends. Some like it, some don't get it. They think they're posers or fakes. But this is a fantastic record. And this isn't one of those new modern records with 36 producers and 28 songwriters and everyone's mixing a track, putting a track together, parts and pieces over the internet for 3 or 4 years. This is their second album, their sophomore, but no sophomore slump. It might even be better than the first one, but they're both great in their own ways. This is full of new wave, post-punk hooks, and her lead singing is really beautiful. She can belt it, and she can sound like a little girl in a certain way. But the songs are catchy and fun and upbeat. Now, what's great about this band, they put their record out 3 years ago, and that song, Chaise Lounge, just swept everywhere. It was everywhere. Young people, older people, middle-aged people, people like you, the guys sitting there with your remote, watching reruns of whatever you're watching, Love Boat. This is a cool band. And what's great about them, they're the real deal. They're a rock band. They're a guitar-driven rock band. Who says guitars are on the way out? They have, 2 guitars, a bass, drummer, and her singing. She plays guitar too as well. But her main thing is, image. And I've had people tell me, oh, she's got this image. She has to wear underwear. Look at all the rock. Look at Iggy Pop. Look at David Bowie. Look at Mick Jagger. Rock and roll is and has been about image for a certain segment of rock and roll. And they are the real deal. Watch the NPR Tiny Desk concerts. They're playing themselves. This is no poser. They recorded this pretty much live. For the most part. The producer added some keyboards to it. Again, this is their second album called Moisturizer. It's catchy as hell. Hooks galore. CPR opens it up. It's a great song too. But the song, which is it? It's the song called Davina McCall. It's such a beautiful melody with these wonderful hooks. Again, I'm using hooks a lot. Catchy as hell. A really good record, and definitely it's going to be one of my top 10 records of the year, unless something changes. It is so good. And for the people the people who are kind of going after them, first of all, because they think they're this overnight success, but for the last 3 years, they've been touring on the touring circuit, on the festival circuit. So they're a tight band. They've become a really tight band in their own way. There's not a lot of lead guitar solos or riffs. They're not about that. It's rhythm guitars. There are lead hooks, but very simple hooks, very catchy, like Satisfaction. How simple is Keith Richards' lead in Satisfaction? Dun, da, 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 da. Anybody can play that. The first thing you play on guitar is Satisfaction, that lick. They're full of licks, too, that just complement these kind of personal, sometimes sexual, sensual, direct vocals. It's kind of a wild cover. There is an alternate cover art with their road manager sitting in a chair. I think that was a listening party edition. I'll put a picture here so you can see what the alternate cover is. I don't know about rarity. I don't really care. The copy I got of Moisturizer is a clear vinyl. I don't really care about color vinyl. I just didn't have black. But this is an excellent record, and this is a record that grows on you. And I've been playing this. I have friends come over, old friends, young friends, friends in the middle, and they like this record. It's just it's a great summer record. This is one of those classic summer records, and I think it's going to hold up. And hopefully this band will continue and expand and flourish, and we'll see where they go. You know, you never know. I mean, there's been a lot of one-hit wonders over the years, you know, going back 50, 60 years, and who knows if they're going to do that. But I think this is an excellent, no sophomore slump, as I said. This is an excellent record moisturizer by the band Wet Leg. You can tell I'm a fan. I just love it. I put it on a lot. It's a fun record. Next is Grinderman. Now, this is the second album by Grinderman. I believe this came out in 2010. Their first album was 2007. This is like the mini. In fact, they were kind of, the working title was the mini Bad Seeds. This is Nick Cave, Warren Ellis, and company. This is what, a 4-piece, 5-piece at the most, rockin' version of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Not that Nick Cave is not a rockin' band, but you know, it's almost, you could imagine Nick Cave thinking, oh, the Bad Seeds, I love them, but it's a burden of what, 11 people in the band or whatever it is, 10 people. And this is sort of a small rock and roll version. I unfortunately never saw them tour. 2007 was the first album. This is the second album. There was a Bad Seeds album in between that. And this is an excellent album. It's a fierce album, a little psychedelic, a little funky at times. Maybe even a little krautrock, just a touch on here. This was just reissued again. And it's funny because I think I made a mistake way back. I have the first album on vinyl, and I have Grinderman of on vinyl, but it's the Grinderman remix album. It actually literally says remix here. And for years, for some reason in my mind, I had forgotten and I thought I had this, but these were just reissued. So the 2 Grinderman albums are on vinyl now in the last week or two. And I just been waiting for this album for a long time. It's one vinyl black, no poly sleeve, call the police. But you have a lovely artistic book of illustrations and lyrics in here. And, you know, you always get good value, I think, from the Nick Cave projects for the most part. And those of you who watch me for forever, or as long as you have been, forever for you, I am an all-in and a massive fan of Nick Cave. He's one of those artists, been around, you know, 4+ decades, and still puts out great music. Now, this is from 2010, so this is 15 years old, but it's just a great, great set of songs, and a rockin' set, and it's a really cool set. So, obviously, Nick Cave and Warren Ellis from the Bad Seeds. You have this kind of metallic-y, embossed, debossed typeface there. There we go. In fact, you know what struck me? Look at this. Separated from birth. Look at that. You got to look at the nails in person and the teeth. This is some creepy cover, but it's creepy in a kind of a fun way. They kind of make fun. You see when they're playing, I'm going back to Wet Leg now, they're having a good time when they're playing. But look at these. What do you think? I think that's pretty hysterical. So anyway, Grinderman out on vinyl again. Great. Next is another band that I cite many times that I'm a fan of. And this is a record I've been trying to get for, 10 years? It's been out of print on vinyl. And this record originally came out in 1998. And this is Electroshock Blues by Eels. The Eels or Eels? I've been criticized lately. I forgot which band. I said I said the Jefferson Airplane one time. And I got just criticized. It's Jefferson Airplane, not the Jefferson Airplane or the Jefferson Airplane. So this is Eels. Sometimes they say the Eels. No, it's Eels. It's in fact, you can enjoy Eels. It doesn't say enjoy the Eels. Okay, so I'm trying to be correct, but I do trip over my lips and make mistakes once in a while. I get a lot of that kind of criticism. I don't mind it as long as you're nice and polite about it. So you can correct me when I make mistakes. Another really great record. I've always said I was going to say the Eels. Records by Eels are very similar in style each time. Sometimes they're a little harder. Mark Everett Oliver's voice. And I always say this when I make videos about Eels. Mark Everett Oliver, or is it Mark Oliver Everett? I think it's Mark Everett Oliver. And he's the band. He put out a couple records, solo records under the moniker E. He's known as E. It's one of those early bands that I brought my son to see at the Fillmore. And my son absolutely loves his music because Eels records are in things like Shrek and a lot of animation, a lot of movies. And they're catchy as hell. 2 or 3 or 4 chords, but he makes each album a little different. Sometimes a little hip hop things to it, but it's rock and roll with a I don't know. I'm not going to say Los Angeles sensibility because that's everything. I mean, you can play, so that's not a good analogy. I'm trying to think. I can't compare it to anything, but it's just he's got this gruff voice and he's sort of cerebral, and he's had a lot of turmoil in his life. His sister committed suicide, I believe, and he had, I think his father was like a physicist or a scientist or something, and he's had obviously some mental issues and things, but he writes to the point, and he has a sense of humor in his writing, and I've been trying to get this. In fact, I found it somewhere, I think it was through Amazon third party, and I ordered it and said, on the way. 3 months it was on the way. Obviously it never shipped. The original version, because I think this was something that literally it hasn't been available for years, and it was going for some money, and I found one relatively reasonable. But luckily, you wait long enough, unlike my last offering here, you can get it at a reasonable price on a reissue. So this just has been reissued. What's great about their records, he's been reissuing almost all of them on a regular basis, and if you go to Eels sites, now I paid for this, if you go to their sites though, he's constantly upgrading and I should say reissuing records, great packaging and art direction usually, and I just absolutely love it. There's a great centerfold there, photographed by Autumn DeWild, a great photographer there. And, wonderful kind of comic illustration here on this record. This one is blue vinyl. Again, do I care? I think they're both blue. You want to see that. Some people want to see it. Some people don't give a rat's ass about the color vinyl. And, oh my God, it's not poly sleeves again. I mean, the police are going to arrive here any minute without these poly sleeves. But an excellent record. I've had this on CD. I played it in the car for years, going back, 15 years. So Eels, Electro Shock Blues on vinyl now. Now a Rhino Reserve. And I bought this with my own allowance. This is Tim Buckley's Happy Sad. This is a 1969 record. Now this came out, I was thinking about this. This came out about within 6 months or so, maybe even less, after Van Morrison's Astral Weeks. And I think they both have similar DNA. They're kind of, he comes out of the folk world, obviously, Tim Buckley on Elektra Records. Obviously, father of Jeff Buckley. I'm a fan of Jeff, but I tell you what, everyone loves Grace, and I think a lot of people bought Grace because of Hallelujah, and the rest of the record, as you know, is nothing like that. He gets into the Zeppelin vibe and everything, and some of the rockers love that, and he goes wild on that record. I'm digressing a little bit here, but, his son, unfortunately, they both died at a young age, really kind of tragic circumstances. Well, maybe he's more self-inflicted. But Grace, to me, is an uneven record, and I hate to say that, and we never got to know the full potential. Was it Tom Verlaine who produced, I think it was Tom Verlaine, what was going to be his next album that came out posthumously? Then there's a live record that came out, but Tim Buckley at least had a lot of records in his short life, and this, to me, is one of my favorite, always has been. Rhino High Fidelity's doing a great job. They do these hype stickers that kind of wrap around. Chris Bellman cuts these. Progressive Fidelity Recordings. This is that great pressing plant owned by Mobile Fidelity. They have their own kind of custom in-sleeves at Fidelity and the custom label. This is a really good sounding record. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine who just doesn't get Tim Buckley, and I totally understand that. This is a transition album because even though he was a folk artist that sometimes would do these over-the-top orchestrated arrangements, almost like Broadway show tune recordings. And some people didn't like that, that type of sound on him. When he does his more intimate folk records, like his cover of the Dolphin, Fred Neil's Dolphins. What a wonderful version of that. And Songs of the Siren. If you ever saw that Monkeys episode where they present at the end of one of the episodes, Tim Buckley doing Songs of the Siren. It's such a beautiful song. It might be a signature song here. This album is more low-key for the most part. It's jazzy, and there's a lot of vibes on it, literally vibraphones, not good vibes. There's that too. And so it has that foot in like Astro Weeks where Van Morrison went a little more jazzy. Obviously Astro Weeks is one of the, maybe the best record Van Morrison ever did, and such a great record. And it's, he has more soul and R&B Van Morrison than he does, but he's got this amazing voice. It's a voice that not everyone takes to, but I think it's a magnificent voice. And the recording of this is so beautiful and so succinct and so dynamic. And it's co-produced by Jerry Yester and Zal Yanofsky. Jerry Yester was married to Judy Hench. They did a classic kind of a dark, folky, maybe we call psych folk now, album way back. And Jerry Yester, coincidentally, replaced Zal Yanofsky in The Loving Spoonful. So they're kind of back doing this record, and they do a beautiful job. The recording of this is so wonderful. I can't express how great this pressing is. And I love that Rhino Reserves are exploring different territories, not just another fucking Cars record or something, right? No offense to the Cars. I like the Cars. This is an important record. Well, I don't know importance, but it's a really great pivotal record in his story. I want to do a video on all his records because I am a big fan and really enjoy his records. And he went in a lot of different directions, and some worked and some didn't. So Tim Buckley's Happy Sad. It is kind of a sad record. I love this photograph. He's definitely his son's father by looks, very similar looks. So this is Happy Sad, Rhino Reserve. It just came out in the last few weeks as well. And finally, that Grail. I don't keep a list of records I am looking for, but there's only been a couple over the years. And I even said in a previous video, I'm not buying a lot of used records anymore. And this is a record that's been teased with a reissue for many years. And this record has not been out since the CD was released, and only came out in Europe as I recall. And this is another one of those records that my son and I played. I'm thinking it's early 2000s, whenever it was. I played this song and this record forever in my car. And it's the best Prince record Prince never made, and that's Midnight Vultures by Beck. I follow Beck. I pretty much love everything. I like the different directions. I made a video. I said Beck and Bjork are probably the two most important artists of the last quarter century. I stand by that. I think they're innovative in all ways, from dance music to funk to hip hop to country to freak folk. That's the word I was thinking of with Tim Buckley. Like early freak folk. So much. But this is one hell of a funky, kick-ass record. Deborah, I mean, listen to this record. It's so good. All the lesbians dance. That's probably the wrong lyric. He's been teasing this record to be reissued for years. And of all the records, this and his record Information have not been reissued yet. And they go for a lot of money. The lowest price on Discogs right now for this is $400 shipped. And I happened to see it in a tiny store north of Seattle on the wall. And it was sitting there. I was with my friend Kimbo. Hi, Kimbo. I don't have to get in the price. Basically, I got it $100 less for the lowest price on Discogs. But I offered the store guy $50 off what he was asking. He goes, sure. And I know I absolutely know. And I don't usually pay that much for records. I'm not one of those wall Grail record buyers. I'm really not, because I have a lot of those records, the ones I want at least, in my collection from the when they came out originally. So I don't go there. I don't go for those really rare psychedelic records that go for hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. It's not in my interest in my record collecting. And I'm not buying it for the collecting. Yes, I have the CD, and the CD is fabulous, but I've been wanting this on vinyl. I know now that I got it, and it sounds really good. I know now that I got it, it's going to be reissued probably sooner than later. That's how it always turns out. But what a great record! It's in lovely shape. There's a little bit of a wear here on the cover, but I just think this is a hysterical cover. Beck Hansen from East LA, the funkiest white guy in East LA, maybe. You want to see? Oh, I need to put it in a poly sleeve now because it's in the original sleeve. There's the inner sleeve. And just to show you, I'm showing off because I love this record. And of course, I think the price is going to go down once it comes up. But I think there's only like 15 copies available on Discag. So it was that time when records weren't pressed a lot over the CD period. There you go. It's on, is it Bongo Records, Bong Records, whatever it's called. What's it called? I should tell you. Bong Load. Look at that. I had a smile on my face when I saw this, and it's in beautiful shape. I'm going to stick it in the Humming Guru today, but just got it this weekend, and I think it's really great. So those are the new music, all great records. This is a nice time for reissues. We're in a good vinyl period. So, and whatever you like, and whatever I like. And my likes are not better than your likes, except for that guy over there. Mazzy loves you. Thank you.